Glad to have you with us here on Seattle Seahawks Today with our nightly recap of the 2024 NFL Draft as day number 2 is in the books. The Seahawks made one selection, and it was Christian Haynes, offensive guard from the University of Connecticut, with the 81st overall pick. Going into tonight, the Seahawks had one pick in round 3. There was speculation about potentially trading into round 2, but ultimately the Seahawks stuck to their guns, and so far throughout 2 days, no trades. They've stayed exactly with the picks that they've entered the draft with, and they go with Haynes here. And through the 2 picks that we've seen from the Seahawks, it's been an interesting approach. They have not only addressed 2 big needs with the defensive tackle spot with Byron Murphy and the offensive guard spot with Christian Haynes, but you could argue that the Seahawks, with their 2 selections, also were able to get the best available players on the board with both of those picks. You can see the value here with Tom Downey's rankings, friend of the show. He has Haynes as the number 59 overall player in this entire draft, and the Seahawks were able to snag him up at the 81st position. So some good value for the Seahawks to get Haynes when they were able to do so with that selection. And I got to tell you, everything that we've seen and read and studied about Christian Haynes, it's remarkable. It's hard to find any flaws with this guy, not just as a football player, but also as a leader, as just a good human being, a good person. A 2-time All-American there at UConn, which was historic in its own right. We know about UConn being a great basketball program, right? Dan Hurley and company, back-to-back national champions. We don't typically talk about UConn football. He was the first ever football player to be an All-American and did it not once but twice there with the UConn Huskies. A ton of experience, over 3,300 snaps at the right guard spot. And as John Schneider was talking about this tonight, as far as Christian Haynes goes, although all of his experience in college is at the right guard position, there might be some potential flexibility here when it comes to Christian Haynes. Exactly what that means, we'll see, as the Seahawks now, and we'll dive into this here in just a second, have some depth pieces to work with here. The offensive line, from what we've seen this offseason with what they've added to now this addition with Christian Haynes, it's going to be pretty competitive for playing time. And think about this too. Last year with the offensive line, entering 2023, it wasn't just that the Seahawks had weaknesses when it came to the offensive line, but it was the lack of depth. Now with what the Seahawks have done, with this addition and a couple of the others, like Laken Tomlinson and whatnot, is that they've added the depth pieces. So they are preparing if something were to happen, that they have other guys that they can go to. And Christian Haynes is going to get a huge opportunity to get some playing time immediately with this Seahawks team. I love the pick. What do you guys think? Grade it for me. A, B, C, D, or F. I got to go with an A. You took care of a big position of need. You got incredible value. You got a great football player. To me, it is a home run for Seattle. Give me your grade in the comment section. My grade for tonight, and I'll be honest, I am not an easy grader by any stretch of the imagination. We're holding these teams accountable. I like what I've seen from John Schneider. He did not jump at the bit to trade up and overpay to trade up. That was another thing tonight, was that there were plenty of trades, and a lot of teams overpaid to move up. And the Seahawks obviously didn't have a ton of assets, specifically draft capital, to have the ability to trade up. He didn't bite on that. So credit to John Schneider for holding firm where they're at and then making the most of the one selection they had in Christian Haynes. Gives me an A for tonight as far as how this goes. I'm sure it was very tempting, especially with the way this board ended up playing out with some guys that we talked about being first-round talents that were available in the second round, like Cooper DeJean, who a lot of people had connected to the Seattle Seahawks. Adonai Mitchell was another top player that was mocked to be a first-round pick, and he was still around. A number of guys, first-round, Johnny Newton, for example, although the Seahawks already took Byron Murphy, but you get the idea. There was plenty of talent still hanging around, and the Seahawks still remained patient. They didn't overpay, and they got what they needed. To me, it was a very successful night for the Seahawks with this selection of Christian Haynes. I got good news for you. We are going to be live tomorrow on Seahawks Today for the entire fourth round on day 3. Myself, Smitty, we will be here, and we're going to have a great time. It is going to be very entertaining, I can tell you that much. And we'll see what the Seahawks do with their fourth round, and we'll break it down. I got to tell you, I cannot wait, because this is the thing about the NFL draft, folks. It is the best reality show around. If I knew what was going to happen tomorrow, I'd be lying to you, folks. We are in for a treat. We're going to see how it all plays out, and I guarantee there will be some surprises. So make sure and join us, our coverage, round number 4. Smitty joins me. We will see you then. Subscribe to the channel. Don't miss out. Day number 3 right here on Seattle Seahawks Today. Today's show is sponsored by Mando. Baseball season is here, and nobody likes a foul ball, just like no one likes a smelly dude. That's where Mando comes into play. Step up to the plate and take your personal hygiene more seriously with the Mando whole body deodorant. Developed by a doctor, this game-changing formula is safe for your entire body and knocks out odor like a champ. Mando is made with mandelic acid, which picks off odor at the source, keeping you fresh for up to 72 hours. Mando is available in solid sticks, invisible cream, body wash, cleaning bars, and deodorant wipes for on-the-go use. Don't let foul balls ruin your game. Switch to Mando and keep your body odor in fair territory. Get $5 off when you go to shopmando.com. Got a couple products that I want to show you here. And here's what they include. I got the bourbon leather body wash. And you can see travel size. So if you're on the go like me, somebody likes to travel, very easy to pack in your carry-on luggage. Very simple in the stuff. I'm just going to open this right now for you. It smells really good. You are not going to mess around with this. Also, got deodorant wipes. Keep it clean. You look good, you feel good, you play good, right? You will do so with Mando. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Use promo code CHAT. Save $5 off the Mando starter pack. All right, so let's talk more about Christian Haynes. Where does he fit into the equation for this Seattle Seahawks team as they have completely retooled this offensive line? And look, Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas are back, but the interior is going to look a whole lot different in 2024. Let's go position by position here. You bring in Laken Tomlinson, former Pro Bowler, most recently with the Jets, was with the San Francisco 49ers when he was a Pro Bowler a couple years ago. He's expected to start at the left guard spot. The center position is held by Olu Olutimi, who was picked last year by Seattle out of the University of Michigan. Saw a little bit of playing time last year, not a ton. And then for now, Anthony Bradford is your starting right guard. But you better believe Christian Haynes is going to have a chance to compete to be that starting right guard when the season begins. It's going to be a job that's ultimately going to be decided in training camp. And with Tomlinson being an older guy who's coming off a disappointing year with the Jets, there is a possibility where maybe it's Bradford and Haynes starting, and Tomlinson ultimately is the one that's the rotational piece. So this is far from over. There's no conclusion yet as far as what this looks like. But two things. We have competition, and we have depth. And that, my friends, is a very good thing for the Seattle Seahawks. Still more work to be done. Championships are won on Saturday. It's not all about Thursday and Friday. You still have, for the Seahawks here, plenty more picks ahead coming up in day 3. And some needs to address. We mentioned the defensive tackle spot and the offensive guard has been addressed, but linebacker still needs some help there. Tight end, there's some good options there as well, potentially. Safety, corner. So I feel very optimistic. I like what we've seen so far, but still more work to be done here over the next day. And then we got undrafted free agents as well after that. So my grade for the Seahawks, I'll go with an A here. Let's see what John Schneider and Mike McDonald have in store here for the next day to finish this out. Good start for the Seahawks here. Who do you want to see the Seahawks draft on day number 3? Who's a player that comes to mind that you want to see on this team in 2024? Weigh in the comment section and let us know what you think. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. We will see you just a few hours from right now. I'm going to try to get a few Z's while I can, and we'll see you shortly here on Seahawks Today. So long, everybody.